Maverick News presents The Rick Walker Show. Defrag your mind.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rick Walker. Welcome back to the Maverick News Channel. Pure entertainment. A lot of people think we're living in a movie. No wonder. Just look at what has developed at the border in Texas in Eagle Pass. Talk about a circus. So American. Dr. Phil is there. Dr. Phil. We'll show you. It's the political event that just has it all. I don't know if you're finding the humor in it, but I am. It just doesn't stop. Oh my God. Oh, okay. At this point, I'm not really that worried about any kind of an insurrection. It's funny. I think it's hilarious. And joining us now live from the border.
She is an amazing woman of God.
Hello, hello, hello.
I was just laughing. I'm so glad you could join us again tonight, because I said this thing of the border in some ways has kind of turned into a bit of a circus with Dr. Phil showing up. It's turned into like a celebrity thing. I saw you interviewed Batman earlier today.
So this has been a really interesting experience now. The other night after we got off the interview, I didn't realize that was the night that Ted Nugent showed up. So we actually had some really amazing speakers. We had Sarah Palin, Ted Nugent, Lara Logan was there. So that was pretty spectacular. And I mean, I'm sorry, but Ted Nugent on the guitar was pretty rocking. I don't care who you are. That was awesome. He wasn't very far away from me at all. A lot of surprising people, surprising speakers for the other evening. Today, the Batman, that was an interesting, let me go this way, guys. Sorry about that. The Batman, that was an interesting thing. I didn't expect that either. I was like, wow. But I guess that's part of his gimmick, to get everybody to stop and check out what's going on. So.
Yeah, well, I thought it was funny. Did you get to see Dr. Phil today?
I did not get to see Dr. Phil at all. I was walking around. There is a ton of mainstream media here. I've been out. I think I've counted probably 15 at least different news stations that are here. And those are like the bigger ones. I'm going to keep walking this way a little bit just to see if I can't find a slightly quieter spot without losing my service. Although, as I walk this way in this direction here towards the back, which is where I'm going back towards these trailers, I'm actually getting closer and closer to the border of Mexico, which is kind of wild. So,
how would you describe the atmosphere there? Is it like a rally or a protest? Is it a party?
Okay, so what I'm going to say is do you remember the old time family picnics where all your great aunts and uncles and everybody would get together out in the backyard? You'd have like a pig roast. It's kind of like that. It's almost like a Sunday brunch picnic kind of thing. It's very relaxed here today, very happy, very positive. There's kids, there's dogs, lots of worship. It started this morning. They were singing worship and cooked food for everybody, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Everything's by donation, which I think is really astounding. And I actually had the pleasure of meeting the owner of the ranch this morning, this wonderful lady. And I guess the ranch here was devastated during COVID. They were shut down. And now they're having issues with security because behind these trucks here on the other side of the tree line is the Mexican border. From what I understand, we're only 1,500 feet from Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're literally right on the border, guys. I didn't even have to go to Eagle Pass yet. I will be checking that out hopefully in the next few days. But yeah, behind me is actually in another like I said, 1,500 feet from the Mexican border here.
Interesting. So, I mean, I'm glad you're there and you're able to kind of share this with us because we're seeing reports, for full transparency here. We're seeing mainstream media reports about militias and pedophiles, people even within the convoy, saying there's a pedophile over there. There's a pedophile over there. Accusations of grifting and all of these things. That comes, I think, with every kind of demonstration like this. But on the ground, overall, you're telling me that it's like a family picnic.
Yeah, basically. It's like a Sunday church picnic, guys. And you know what's funny? I mean, it is kind of funny because, again, there's all this speculation, all of these things. What is this? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. This is literally a church revival here, guys. It is a worship church revival rally. They do have some political candidates here that have been speaking, obviously some political figures, but it does help draw attention to what's going on down here. But again, the music. Okay, so here we go. The musicians that have been playing are the worship teams from down here. It is all church music. When you came in the gate the other night, they ask you any alcohol, any firearms, any drugs. If then none of that's. Now they did say firearms are allowed, but they need to stay in your vehicles. That's what they did say. Obviously, this is Texas, but they don't want people walking around with firearms on their hips. And I could walk you through this crowd, and if you check the live stream, you can actually see there isn't anyone with any kind of arms on them. We don't, unless there's security. There's really no extra beefing up or militia or anything like that. Now, do we have a large sheriff presence outside the gate? Yes, we do. There is a lot of added security. Apparently, they were working with the border agents, the border patrol, and the local sheriffs and everything. They all knew that this group was coming here, so they did put additional security measures in as we are so close to the border for everyone's safety. But again, this has been very, very well planned out in a lot of respects. Everything about everybody's safety. Again, this is like a Sunday church picnic. Absolutely wonderful to be here. I mean, it's a really happy, positive vibe. I'm super glad I got this great cruise across the country. But yeah, in our fact-finding mission, this is literally just like a Sunday picnic.
So how close are you to like Shelby Park, where the governor, confiscated the park or whatever, and that's really where the focal point of the political
right. So as I've been here, I've been asking a lot of questions because I'm really nosy and I just wanted to know the truth. And what I'm finding out, so Eagle Pass and the park are somewhere around 18, 20 miles from here. And they're literally just down the road. So it's like, from what I understand, it's a pretty much straight shot. And you can go either a historic way or a highway. Either way, what they said was, if you go to Eagle Pass, all you're really going to see is the fence. You're not really going to see a whole lot unless you zoom in with a camera. There are some containers, I guess, with razor wire on the top further out. But they said with everybody focusing on that area, there's really not a whole lot going on. And what I found out from a lot of people that have been checking stuff out, boots on the ground for a while, some of the activity has moved actually further along the border. So you're not seeing as much activity right there at Eagle Pass as far as the immigrants coming in and all of that. That's happening a little bit further down the road now. The other thing that I found out is, it's, again, so you're talking about Eagle Pass, but one of the interesting things about this location here is what I was told across the street from this location, all of the houses across the street are owned by the cartels. So interestingly enough, you have these homes on U.S. soil owned by the cartels. I also, so we had drones flying around last night while we were sleeping, and I asked questions about the drones, and I was told it could be one of two things. It could either be the Border Patrol or it could be the cartels, because we are so close to the border. one of the tricks that I was told that they use is taking their drugs and sticking them in things like bird feeders and things like that, and then putting a drone up over top so they can monitor what's going on and who picks everything up. Not only, like I said, do the Border Patrol kind of monitor those types of activities, but so do the cartels with the technology that we have. And this is one of those things that right here, like these border properties right here, like this one, those are a lot of the issues that these kinds of residents are experiencing, in addition to having their pantries raided and their homes broken into, or their other outbuildings.
Yeah. So what do you think is being achieved by having everybody there this weekend?
Well, so the first thing, first and foremost, obviously, this is bringing a huge amount of attention to this border crisis issue. And I think it's really important that this information, obviously, they're not letting a whole lot out, and they're not really talking about it as far as how it affects the people. So this is really important for that information to get out as far as how are these residents affected, things like that. Obviously, it brings the attention down here and shows, hey, listen, there is a problem here at the border, and we do need to do something about it. But what I found out, so there was a question, and I do want to address this. So everybody was asking about, well, where do all these donations go that this group is raising, right? Those donations actually are going to this children's ranch to get it back up and running again. So that is where those donations are going that are being raised from this event. So if nothing else, guys, you're supporting a great cause, trying to get this children's ranch back up and running to full capacity.
I wondered about that because I wasn't sure. It says where it goes, but I was like, what is that? It's a strange name. And now we know. And they're up to,
we're on location.
Yeah, last check, we were up to about $165,000.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, well, that all of those monies, from what I understand, are coming right here to this children's ranch to help get everything, secured up and get them back in business. So that is my understanding from what I've been finding out, asking questions about here as far as that money goes. So if you guys have questions, any other ones, I can definitely try and find out. But as I'm understanding it from what I've been asking from several different people, the answer's all been the same. It does come right back here to this children's ranch.
Yeah, it says to the mission WTP Haggai 28.
Yep.
Whatever that is. So I don't know. Now I guess I know.
Yeah, like I said before on the other show, guys, always research who you're donating to, because you want to know your money is your voice. It's a way to speak. So you want to know what you're speaking for. Again, this is a glorious cause, I think, for helping out a children's ranch here in Texas. It is also really wonderful to bring the attention to the border, show them that we're here peaceably, to raise our voices in prayer, I guess, here at this wonderful, like I said, it is just a wonderful feeling, like a Sunday picnic, or maybe a county fair. I mean, yes, there's a few vendors here. From what I understand, some of the proceeds of that, or certain donation vendor spot charges or whatever, that's all part of going to the ranch. But again, I don't know all of those details since I'm not doing that part.
Are you seeing other activity like an increased police presence or more National Guard, as in the early days?
Again, we've seen a lot of sheriffs here for our own protection here, but I haven't really seen anything. But I haven't gone off of this property today. Now, I did go out front. We did have a small group of, I guess they're protesters. I think they were just kind of protesting. I don't really know. I don't know. I walked out there. I showed the signs. I let you hear the bullhorns. I kind of tuned it out because that kind of negativity I don't need in my life. But I did want to show everybody the line of cars that was parked outside, because there wasn't enough room in this facility to park all the vehicles today with everybody running around at one point.
Yeah, because there were some community leaders who yesterday had a news conference. We ran some of that. They were very critical of what you guys are doing down there. I don't know if they really understood what was likely to happen. I wasn't sure
That's
what
why I
to
said there's a
expect,
lot of
honestly.
miscommunication. I had somebody go to me today, well, when is the convoy going to Eagle Pass? I said, they're not. I said, the convoy is at its final destination. We're here. This is it. And actually, they have some banners right up on the stage front. If you guys check it out, there are disclaimers right there saying if anybody's defaming them or anything like that, that not to misconstrue anything. Again, we've been showing you live transparency. There's a participant disclaimer there if you're participating here, that everything is, on your own accord and all of those other things. These guys went over their intentions and everything. First thing today, when they got out on the stage, they read the declaration, everything that this convoy stood for, and made sure it was reiterated to the crowd. So I thought that was really great, having that full transparency.
Right. And then you just got the political side of this.
Mhm.
I mean, what you're doing is political as well, because it's a rally. And it's all connected to this issue at the border. But
Right.
then you've got like the heavy duty politicians going to head to head on this. Biden versus Trump basically is what it comes down to, I think.
It's kind of like East Palestine all over again, where Trump showed up and Biden's only showing up tomorrow, I guess. From what I understand. I mean, how shameful is that? But again, it's one of those issues. I mean, obviously, like I said, the border is a hot topic, and it's really great to bring the awareness down here and what it's doing to these small border towns. Because again, these properties here, this whole place had to shut down, and all of their pantries and everything have been broken into, and their supplies stolen. So again, they've been doing this convoy, and all of those donations are to help out here on this beautiful property that they've let us use. And like I said, Christian music right now in the background. We have had a few political speakers, like I said, people running for local offices, talking about what's going on. And I think that's really, really great. And even to get those national and international figures here to shine the awareness on what's going on is so important. But what's even more important is being able to show everybody that you have this large force of Americans, and even some of you fellow Canadians, my brothers and sisters up there in the north, showing this wall of solidarity in a peaceful manner. That's absolutely astounding. And that gives me a lot of hope, because we really do need hope in the world. I mean, I think we were all a little sour after 2 years ago when things didn't quite work out the way we all expected, and we all kind of felt like we were taken for a ride. But this time I feel like we actually got the real deal, and we got something really great out of this. So I'm actually very hopeful and very excited for the rest of this evening. I think it's going to be a wonderful night. I've heard that there's supposed to be some exciting guest speakers. I've heard rumors, but I don't know. So we're going to see, but we're going to stick it out as long as I can out here with the live feed. So if you guys want to check it out, please do. Again, we're not editing anything, so it's complete, raw, unfiltered truth.
Right. Yeah. And I think I know what you're hinting at as a possible guest speaker, because we were hearing about it even last night, but
Yep.
I don't even really want to say it because I don't want to.
I don't either, because I don't want to get anybody's, dander up in any way, shape, or form, good, bad, or ugly. We're just going to wait and see what happens, because the problem is that when we speculate like this, that's what happened with this whole convoy. Everybody started speculating, and now look, here it is. It's a Sunday picnic on this beautiful ranch right here at the border. And I'll tell you what, I couldn't ask for a more relaxing, more wonderful time, because, like I said, as soon as you came in the gate, they were asking those questions. Do you have firearms? Do you have any drugs? Do you have any alcohol? No drugs, no alcohol allowed on this premises. Again, this is absolutely wonderful. And again, families, children, dogs, great atmosphere.
Okay. And just to kind of tee things up for tomorrow, we are going to try to provide some coverage from East Palestine when Biden visits there. Do you want to just remind people of what the situation is there and what the cause is?
Sure. So actually today marks the 1-year anniversary of the train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, that had all those toxic chemicals that they burned. And what happened was, when they burned them, that created this huge smoke cloud that you could even see on the weather radar across the globe. And those chemicals, folks, are biocumulative toxic chemicals. So that means that once they're in your body, they never go away. And these folks have been exposed to these chemicals for the last year in their air, in the soil, in their water. They have gotten zero federal aid whatsoever. And nobody's been held accountable for all of these damages, in a lot of respects, these medical bills and increased expenses for these folks. So again, they've been suffering for this last year in these conditions, and the EPA is telling them their water's safe. Meanwhile, they turn on their tap water and their wells, the water's fizzing and it smells like a mixture of battery acid and sulfur. It's not a great situation. The creeks are still pluming. And as they're doing the soil testing and things, we're finding those numbers just keep going up and up and up and up and up and up. So these poisons, these dioxins, are not going anywhere. And these people are literally exposed to these chemicals every single day. So these folks, like I said, no relief. We as a group, Soup Mama Official, we went in there last year several times with relief goods. We're going back again in March to try and help these folks out because, again, like I said, here we are 1 year today, and Biden still has not gone there. He's going there tomorrow, and all the residents just feel like he's using them for a photo op for his campaign. There's a lot of them that are very, very unhappy about him coming out there so late in the game and after leaving them to feel abandoned and left behind.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, we'll just monitor your live feed a little bit tonight as the show progresses, but tell people how they can find your work again.
So, folks, you can type in Soup Mama Official on any search engine. You'll find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Gab, all the main social media channels, guys, Rumble, X, all of those. And again, you can also reach us at Soup Mama Official, all one word, at gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of us, please check out our East Palestine footage. I was at Ground Zero last year when it happened. So if you want, you can check that out and see what it's all about. We also have a short video that we put together for all of you folks to explain their situation in about 2 minutes. So please check it out, share it out, let people know, that we haven't forgotten them, we haven't abandoned them, and that we care as Americans and other people around the globe. We're all one big family, one big community. As you know, I love all you guys out there. Right now, we have at least 25 different countries watching what's going on here in Eagle Pass off of the Soup Mama Official live stream on YouTube. And guys, this is huge, huge news, and we appreciate everything. We appreciate all of you and your support.
We appreciate you too. Thank you, Soup Mama. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful evening. Stay blessed.
Okay. See ya.
See
Okay. Soup Mama right there near Eagle Pass, Texas. And thank you to her and her crew out there for bringing us that information and video tonight. So stay with me. When we come back, we'll show you that Batman footage. We'll show you Dr. Phil. We'll show you everything else going on there, and we will get into the other top news stories of the day. Don't go away.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, so it has turned into a bit of a circus down there. I'm just being, straight up honest. It is making me laugh. When I saw Dr. Phil fly in on a helicopter, that was when I really clued in that this is all political theater. Okay. And yeah, there are a lot of moving parts to this. There's good stuff, there's some bad stuff, there's some weird stuff, bizarre stuff, but it's all entertainment. That is definitely the case. And Soup Mama ran into some of that at the children's camp, where most of the convoyers are staying, the Take Our Border Back convoyers. So I thought we'd cue that up and share Batman with you, and then we'll show you Dr. Phil, because Batman's just the warm up act. Then along comes the big time celebrities like Dr. Phil, Ted Nugent, Sarah Palin. It's an all-star cast, and we'll get into the into the other side of it a little bit too, just because you can't have an event like this anymore without taking some of the good with some of the bad. And here we go. Here's Batman.
The amount of cars and things that are here. Oh, look, we got Batman today. Look at this, guys. Look at that.
What brings the superhero up? Mental Health Act. The world free. So Batman is out here representing mental health work.
All right.
So we're now incorporating AI into technology, gadgets and gizmos for kids, adults, everybody mental health related. It'll be like a Facebook where they could interact and mingle with the same types of individuals with figurements, abnormalities. AI will be there for listening ear. Not only will it contact emergency services if need be, it handles everything tailored to every individual, specifically to your needs and wants. Hey, that's what we're doing. We're just going to be free to the public, and we should launch this year.
Awesome.
Hey, man.
All right,
I'm 54
guys.
years old, and I'm finally meeting Batman.
Yeah, I know, right? So here's this, guys. This is the QR there for what Batman is out here. And
that's the QR of the Facebook group.
Okay, QR of the Facebook group there. It's all about mental health support.
Overall well-being. Yes.
Overall well-being. So, guys, that is what he's here talking about today.
Donations are going to be made in the pledge's name. So these are pretty much free merchandise. Just the users will be making donations, which will give them free beta testing.
Awesome. Okay, so you hear that, guys? Any of the stuff that's donated goes towards the beta testing. Mary, those donations towards the ranch, that would be the ones. Check out the takeourborderback.com website for that information. So,
Latino for Trump.
yes. Very cool, guys. Thank you very much for being here. You want me to take a picture for you? Absolutely. Heck yeah. Let's do it. Pictures with Batman. You can't not have pictures with Batman.
But can you give us a full picture?
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to get feet and all. The other ones were like 3/4, kind of like knees up. Yeah. So, all right, gents, thank you for explaining that to the viewers. We really appreciate you being here, guys. Thank you for the support. So again, right here, guys, look at this. Welcome to the ranch. All about God's children. Here is a number for you. Again, guys, you want to make sure, no matter what it is, you want to make sure you're doing your research. There's Mike America this morning.
How you doing the security thing as usual?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Keeping us safe. We appreciate you.
Just go in there with a sidearm on his hip. Little concerning, but that's all right. He's a law enforcement officer, so he can carry it on him while walking around the ranch.
There you go. There you go. He's just keeping us safe too. The sheriffs have been excellent around here. Yeah.
Batman doesn't.
So, guys,
gun.
that's
He's
Mike
got
America. He is in charge of security down here, which is amazing.
Okay. Oh, hang on. Here
and it is lined with cars. This is right outside the ranch. I'm literally standing right here in the middle of the road. I think she's going
to show you these protesters here
Mexico,
too. That
right there.
Showed up.
That goes to Mexico. Okay, so that's the road to Mexico. Right here is the ranch, folks. And again, this is all down the street. Now, I know if I walk too far, I'm going to lose my service. So I don't want to do that because I don't want to drop you guys here. But I'm going to take a second and I'm just going to zoom in going down the street. You can see as far as this camera zooms, there are cars parked down the way there, all the way to the end, both sides. There's cars parked in the back of the ones on the road too, off to the side. So guys, there are a ton of cars here, lots and lots of people at the ranch. Looks like law enforcement rolling up right here. This is wonderful. Look at all these guys. Those are some great shirts, guys. Great shirts. Wonderful.
Great hat, good hat.
Thank you. Thank you. So again, guys, this is literally right outside the gate. This is the Cornerstone Children's Ranch. This is where we ended up. Thank you for your service. We got our guys here. So yeah, so again, this is where we're at. There's Miss Elvira. And like I said, all of these cars here, all
Another
here
celebrity,
at the ranch.
Elvira.
This is just amazing, guys. Hey, Elvie, can you do me a favor? I want to take my sweatshirt off. I am cooking.
Yes. You'll
Um,
never see me in jeans again, but jeans have to be on in Texas.
Hold that 2 seconds. I am just cooking.
This place.
So
Listen, do you know that the deans are here? The attorneys that held their guns on their front porch and got the world's eye on them?
oh yeah?
They're
I
here.
didn't know that.
Yep, the deans are here. Patty Dean, I think his name is Greg. Patty and Greg
hang
Dean.
on, we're gonna-
Sorry. We got coming in. There we go.
Look at that.
Frontline Alternative Medicine is here. Oh, good morning. Woo! Nice.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
show that
this
thing.
is-
Okay, I gotta try my sweatshirt. Oh my gosh, it's
It is
getting
so
super
hot.
warm. It was a little
It
chilly
is.
when I got up,
Yeah, same.
but the sun is coming out, and this is just gorgeous. And absolutely wonderful, guys. Good morning,
There's
ladies.
soup.
Rocking the Soup Mama shirt today, and our coffee chest hat.
Indeed, we do.
With the Lord, all things is possible.
That's why we're here.
So yeah, so we're here, like I said, at the front gate, guys. This is the Cornerstone Children's Ranch. I'm really glad Elvie has the camera for a second. Again, I was just showing you guys down the street there. There are cars as far as the eye can see that way. This is the road to Mexico going this way. So you can see cars all the way to the end of the street right there. Up until about the actual border. Oh, step this way, one more, baby. I don't want you getting run over by traffic.
Nope.
So, so again, those cars are parked pretty much to the Mexico border. There is about as far as they can pretty much safely go. Cars parked all the way down the street that way. Here, let me take this back from you. Your
And
hands
put this
are
in my
so
pocket
crazy
so I can
full.
help you.
And again, right here, front gate. I'm gonna take you guys in. I'll take you from Elvie for a second. Let her do her thing.
There you go. Gotta charge my phone.
Yeah. Oh, I will show you here we go, guys. I'm going to show you this sign again that has the number for the ranch. Take your screenshots, guys, so you have the information. Again, you can check out their website, takeourborderback.com. But that's the phone number there. And then again, this is the website over here, guys. Website there.
Secure the border, read the Bible, vote for Trump, and live for Jesus.
Okay. So take your screenshots, guys. And again, check out everybody. Like I said, you want to always make sure you're checking out all of the people and all of the groups and things that are working.
Okay. So, you know, I have to, I feel much, much better knowing that a guy who dresses in a cowl and a black cape and a rubber suit and comes out and worships bats is helping people with mental health issues. Oh my. You can't make this stuff up. You can't. But it's good. It's a good thing. It's funny. Come on. That's funny. Oh my. Okay. Oh, what a strange week. What a strange week. We've had people, mainstream media, jacked up because they're saying that this is going to lead to maybe a civil war. You've had was it Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and said we need a national divorce. You have the governor of Texas confiscating a municipal park, not giving access to the feds. It's standoff. Trump's telling other states to send reinforcements to bolster the National Guard numbers. It's just, it sounds real serious. It sounds like everything's about to blow up and deteriorate into something real messy. I suppose we're still sort of there. And then you have all these different players coming together. And here's what's really going on. It's like you have militia groups going down there. And let's just face it. Let's just be honest. Yeah, you have the occasional person tweeting or saying something that sounds like they're getting ready to, run down to the border and provide reinforcements, like militia, citizen-led, vigilante-style reinforcements for the National Guard at the border. And everyone's like, what the hell's going on? And then you have Alex Jones chiming in over the last couple of days with his crew down there saying it's a false flag. We have secret documents and inside information from sources who shall not be named, telling us that it's all a big setup. And you have other streamers saying, don't go. It's all a setup. I mean, the drama is just off the charts, right? And then you have other people. I don't know what it is with these events, but there's always the pedophile element, right? I guess it's because everybody's so concerned about saving kids and protecting kids, and then there are all these accusations flying around. There's always a few. That guy's a pedophile. That guy's a pedophile. But then you go down there and it's people praying, saying, and you just heard the guy on the PA system saying, what was it? Eat your lunch and read your Bible and vote for Trump. Okay. And then you've got Batman and Elvira and people hanging out, singing songs, praying, worshiping. It is like a church revival there. They said that's really ultimately what it was going to end up being at one of the previous stops before they got there. They're not even going down to the border. They're about almost 20 miles away, for crying out loud, and they've stopped. Didn't sound like that was what it was going to be, but that's where it is. They've just gone to this camp. They're camping. It's a camp out. All right, but it's great. It's great politics. It's absolutely theater, and and then there's Dr. Phil got in on the act today. All right, so let me get you Dr. Phil. Here we go. Where'd you go, Dr. Phil? Let me find Dr. Phil for you. Oh, Elon Musk chimed in too, so even he's sucking up the attention. All right. Here's Dr. Phil. I'm gonna get you the shot. It's got several angles, and it's an action-packed day. And this is really freaking serious stuff when Dr. Phil shows up, baby. Okay, like this is serious stuff now. Here's Dr. Phil arriving.
All right, there's Dr. Phil out in his state-provided helicopter. He's about to go apparently take a tour of the border. That's all of his people and some of the state people. Cameraman's in the back. He's in the back. What a shit show, man. What a shit show.
This is so American.
All right, there's Dr. Phil out in his state-provided helicopter. He's about to go apparently take a tour of the border.
All right. All right. Yeah, so there he is. He's at the border. Okay, Dr. Phil. You know what he needs to happen here is like Dr. Phil, you know, he's like he's a shrink, right? So you need to get Dr. Phil and Pat-Man together. All right. And yeah, and then they could do like a whole live stream show. That'd be a hit, right? One shrink talking to the to the guy in the rubber suit about mental health, saving the kids. That's funny. Yeah, again, you can't make it up. Can't make this stuff up. And he's down there to put his finger in the dike to stem the flow of illegal immigration. Thank you, Dr. Phil, for saving America. It's just, oh, I just saw that. I just thought that was hilarious. Here we go. All right, here's more of Dr. Phil.
All right, guys, we're down here at the border. And funny enough, Dr. Phil is actually here. He's down there in that helicopter right now, getting ready to take off. So if this circus hadn't gotten any crazier, Dr. Phil is getting in a DPS helicopter and is about to take off to tour the border. Jesus.
I better go down there. I'm Dr. Phil, and I better have a good tour of the board. What the hell is he going to do? What is Dr. Phil going to do about the board? I don't know, man. But hey, whatever. It looks important. Dr. Phil touring the board, and then he, when he was down there, he's does this weird video thingy where he's obviously reading or reciting a script. All right. Let me get you the video of Dr. Phil reading this script. Here we go. Okay. Dr. Phil making his video, and he sounds like a freaking robot. You'd think it being the polished national celebrity that he is and all the TV experience he has, that he'd be a little smoother. But listen to this. He's doing the script, and it's clearly a script that he's reciting or reading, and I'm surprised he's just not a little more polished with it, but he's under a lot of pressure down there at the border. You know, he's got one finger in the dike, and while he's trying to remember his lines.
Texas law enforcement has seized over 454 million lethal doses of fentanyl during this border mission. Governor Abbott has said that the federal government has broken the pact between the United States federal government and the states. Governor Abbott says President Biden has refused to enforce those laws and has even violated them. The result is a humanitarian crisis unlike anything we've seen before, smashing records for illegal immigration by wasting taxpayer dollars to tear open Texas border
Oh, he screwed up.
Infrastructure. Governor Abbott says President Biden has enticed tens of thousands of illegal immigrants away from 28 legal entry points along the Texas border and into the dangerous and deadly waters of the Rio Grande. According to the Department of Homeland Security, since President Biden took office, more than 6 million illegal immigrants have crossed Texas' southern border in just 3 years. That's more than the population of 33 different states in this country. And what about our Vice President, Kamala Harris? Did you know she's our country's immigration czar? Guess how many times she's been to the border? Once.
And did you know that Vice President Kamala Harris is the immigration czar? Do you know how many times she has been to the border? One time. I'm a Dr. Phil, and I cannot remember what Biden. I'm having a Biden moment. It's just okay. I like Dr. Phil. He seems like a nice guy. I just think it's funny. I'm sorry. I think it's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. You want to know what else is hilarious? There's this map going around. There's a map going around. Maybe you've seen it. All right. This map is giving rise to speculation. Because, of course, you have 25 states, right, throwing their support behind Texas in this political battle, in this election cycle. Okay. And if you get out the map, you see that the U.S. states, but then there's also a map going around that kind of extends on that and adds in some of Canada. And well, I'll show you the map, okay? And then you tell me if this does not look familiar, okay? Let me show you. This is hilarious too. Maybe serious. It might be a prelude to things to come, but even if it is, it's funny. I think it's funny. Look at this. Okay. So this is pretty much what you got. These are pretty much kind of the states that have thrown their support behind Texas. And you scroll up here, kind of. All right. It's pretty close. You can't stop what's coming. Oh my, we are in trouble now. Somebody is anyway. Doesn't that just draw a line right through the heart of Canada and the United States? And doesn't that just suggest that maybe if there is some sort of a separation, a national divorce, or maybe an international divorce, that we might end up with a whole new country? And within that country, you would have the two most oil-rich regions captured in whatever kind of geopolitical coup d'etat this might end up being. And I mean, hey, it sounds like it's a serious threat to me when you have Dr. Phil on site and Batman and Sarah Palin. But doesn't that look familiar? Sure does to me. Does anything come to mind for anybody in the chat? Let me just check the chat here. Has anyone seen this map before? Let's bring up a few comments here. There you go. And Yvonne is making some reference to Russia. Kim RS says, yup, of course. And All Seeing Heart says, the diagonal is curved. Yeah, I think diagonal. Dennis Johnston says, diagolon. Right on the money. Yeah. Let's show you, in case you haven't, if you're not familiar with what the heck I'm talking about, folks. This was all part of the Emergencies Act. It was this meme country, supposedly a meme, not supposed to be real, but you never know. Trudeau imposed the Emergencies Act, which is the modern equivalent, the rewritten, rebranded War Measures Act in Canada, to crush the Freedom Convoy in Ottawa. All right. Because of this flag and meme country created by Jeremy McKenzie called Diagolon. Here, I'll show you. So there it is. So that's Diagolon. Does not look, that's Jeremy McKenzie's Diagolon. A country that he says was a fiction, something that came from his mind. And then from that, he says that he created this flag, the Diagolon flag, which has the jagged edges on it, on a cell phone with some sort of a graphics application where he simply dragged his finger across the screen to create that flag, mimicking these would be the states that if they separated from Canada and the United States to join a new country, it would reflect, I guess, conservative ideology or an ideology or belief system political that is not woke. All right. Not the kind of country that Trudeau and Biden have. That's Diagolon. And doesn't that look familiar? Again, can't make this stuff up. And this was not on The Simpsons. We've had that on our show. Maybe we're becoming like The Simpsons, where we predict the future. But in fairness, it was on Jeremy McKenzie's show first. And I think some other shows, many other shows have shown that flag and that map. Does that not blow your mind? And now here we are, 2 years later, plus 2 years plus later. And who knows? Maybe the country will break apart. Maybe we will end up with something resembling that. Bizarre, eh? Unless somebody has a plan. And it's all unfolding. It's so sinister. It could be a Russian plot. In fact, it could be a Russian plot. Anything is possible. Because you just can't make this crap up. And the rhetoric, the ideology, what people are saying, it's emotional, it's heartfelt, and in some cases controversial, I guess, to some people. You have some people in the community down there in Eagle Pass that are diametrically opposed ideologically to the people who are sitting out there in that park. And we saw them in the news conference the other night. Democrats, yep. Woke, yep. Compassionate, absolutely. Nice people, I think so. But, which is so reflective of where we're at as a society today, I made some phone calls down there today. And do you think I could get any of those people on the left that I contacted with direct numbers to call me back? Nope. They don't want to talk. Because why? Because I think when they go to the website or see what we do here, I think they view me as a journalist who is right wing. I'm guessing. But I've never had so much trouble in recent years, in the past as I have in recent years in trying to get people to speak to me when they are on a particular side of a political aisle. It's just reflective, again, of the polarization on the political scene. It's just, it's a terrible situation. Never going to learn to live together if you can't talk to each other. Now, I did speak yesterday to a couple of people who were very helpful in getting me some information and guiding me to people that I really needed to speak to. And so that was very helpful. But those community leaders I spoke to, they did not want to put their names on the record, did not want to appear on camera. Fear, distrust, extremely unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. It breaks my heart, really. Don't like it. Don't like it. Now, we were talking earlier about the razor wire and what it's like down there at the border. So I've got some footage of that for you as well to show you kind of what's going on at the actual border in Eagle Pass. So I'll cue that up and share that with you on the other side.
The New World Order. Government overreach. The Great Reset. Mainstream media lies. Now more than ever, independent voices are needed. Donate now at freedomreporters.com. That's freedomreporters.com. Maverick News. The antivirus program for your mind.
Okay, so this next video is coming in from Lori Arnold, who is down at the border in Eagle Pass, got right up pretty close to where this razor wire has been deployed by the Texas state government that the Biden administration wants removed. So she gives us here a little sampling of what is actually happening at the border in Eagle Pass, not just from the camp 20 some miles away. And this is important too. And I think this kind of coverage helps keep things or gives us an accurate perspective of what is going on. So there in Shelby,
River.
There's
You
the
see
river.
The river. You can see the razor wire. Right down there is the razor wire down there. Let's see if I can
see the containers that
Let me
are
get
to your left.
Hold on, I'm trying to get in here first. Let's see, where am I? I gotta get myself. Okay, there. And then we got where's the containers at? Oh, there they are over there. Yeah. No, I can't see them with the camera. I gotta get over a little bit. There's the containers. There's one of the river. Like I said, I got the containers back there. You can see them. Whoops. Right back there. Oh, okay. Well, let's go walk down here and see what's going on.
I can't say that they're doing that.
So they're not allowing anybody to go down into the park today unless you are, unless you're press. They're letting mainstream media down, which I understand to some extent why that dude is angry. I am not going to agree with him and his yelling and stuff, but the thought that they're keeping us all out, I'm not really quite sure why they're doing that. They say that there was an incident last night. I don't know. I cannot find out about the incident. Did you? What happened? Or do you not want to?
No, I don't.
Then let's not put it out because we don't know what happened.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on with that. I just know that those guys were really pissed off that they could not get down there. Is there anything you want to tell people that I'm not remembering, like from what you've noticed on the way down here or anything? Things that people should, like, were there a lot of police on the way down? I mean, changes because of this?
You mean actually in town? Or?
Yeah, well, any of it. No, not really.
No,
okay.
Just they got this. You know, yesterday we could actually go down there. I mean, that's the only thing different.
Yeah, yesterday we could go down.
You know, yeah, obviously there's a little more police presence.
We got police tape here too. And we can't. Now this is the other road that comes up here. So can I ask you something, or? Sure. All right, let me.
Oh, on video?
Yeah. Do you not want to be on video?
No,
I'll
okay.
turn it around.
No, that's okay.
Okay. So I'd heard just a little bit of what you were saying to the other gentleman that was yelling.
Yes.
I didn't hear a lot of the conversation, but I kind of got the idea that maybe you were for a more quiet, a peaceful approach.
Yes.
Is that?
Yes.
And that you actually went and protested during Vietnam. You caught my attention with that.
Madison, Wisconsin, yes.
That is so interesting. Oh no.
I'm 70.
No way.
Oh my God. No, she just said she was 70 years old. Oh my Lord. Nuh-uh. Look at her. She says she's 70 years old. Are you eating right or what? Look at it. 70 years old. Woo! That is awesome.
I'm retired law enforcement.
Oh, are you?
So I've always been in the real estate.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, come on now. I got to admit, we did see whoever that guy was that was pretty big.
Oh, the guy with the white hair.
Some of the police get kind of big and then they can't, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes law enforcement stays in shape and sometimes they don't. I'm glad that you have.
I'm a swimmer, and bicycle riding, and I lift weights.
That's so awesome. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's enough. So got that, and gives you an indication. That's Lori Arnold, by the way, so you can check out her work. And we have that part of Eagle Pass is still a no drone zone. Let me show you. Some people upset about that too. In particular, some live streamers, media types, independents, independent journalists. No drone zone. In fact, I believe the area has been declared an emergency zone. A no drone zone area has been designated by the chief of police and the state of Texas in the area of downtown Eagle Pass under the authority of the emergency declaration. It says right there. But this photographer, Danielle Gomez, is saying, I'm telling you, this is how martial law begins. The city just put out a letter saying that it's best if we stay in. That phrase, under the authority of the emergency declaration, is the same wording Governor Abbott used to take away Shelby Park. So that's the other side of this equation. Some people not happy about the protesters being there. That photographer not happy about it. Obviously a local. And a no drone zone. It's a no drone zone, baby. Let me see if we can pick up a live feed coming out of the park there. Let's go live now. Back with Soup Mama for a moment. There we go. Let's check this out.
For any of
And
this to
live
happen to
again.
them, you know, the train derailment and the burn, and 0 federal aid in a year. You know, so we're going to try and take some more aid back to them just to help relieve those monthly expenses to help them get caught up in the medical bills. So, yeah.
We're supporting the only Palestinian.
Yeah, the good Palestinians. Yeah, but like I said, those guys, they really do need our help. So I appreciate it if you can share out the word. That's the best we can do to try and get them help.
It's done a ton of work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and he probably knows that we were down there. Like I said, I got to meet Steve Bannon. We were down the day before, or 2 days before, something. The War Room came down for that Abandoned series, and the one lady, Christine, I knew her from before, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to stick around?" Because we were doing one of the distributions. So, yeah. So So yeah, like I said, it's been a year since we've been there, and really, other than a few smaller water drops, no real relief to them. So, and we helped a couple hundred families, which translates into, obviously a few thousand. So every help that we can get, and it's such a blessing to them. Yeah. Pleasure to meet you.
She got bit.
I'll catch you later, okay? All right. Love you, Jay. All right, guys. I'm going to try and tuck this merchant. Uh-oh, we've got more speakers.
In the magazine as I ran.
Maybe we should watch
Hearing
that.
gunfire. Ran across the street barefoot. People say, really? You didn't put your shoes on? I say, you're lucky I had pants on. Because shots were being fired, and every shot that I heard I knew was pointed and aimed at me for someone I cared about. Sutherland Springs, Texas is under 600 total population. Total population.
Yeah.
And we're in the middle of a little bitty county where we have no police department in Sutherland Springs. We're not even incorporated.
There you go, guys.
And I knew that it could take a long time. It took police 19 minutes
I'll let you listen
before
to
they showed
speakers
up
here.
after the first 911 call. And I knew my community needed me. That's what our Second Amendment is about, protecting our family. And what's coming over the border, FBI and Homeland Security has already said, likely to be terrorists here. Something's going to happen. You better have a gun. Because police are minutes away. They were 19 minutes away.
Yeah, I'll watch them.
Ran across the street, and as I ran across the street, I yelled out.
Yeah, I gotta get
And I truly believe that God called the demon out at that moment. Because as I yelled out, he had shot Julie Workman through the breast, and he shot Chris Workman in the back, instantly paralyzing Chris Workman from the waist down. And he walked over and he was pointing the gun at Chris Workman's face. Chris said, I was ready to meet Jesus. And it hurt me scream. Chris said at that moment, his face changed. And he dropped his rifle in the church and came out shooting at me with a pistol. Had on class 3 body armor, ballistic bulletproof helmet, and he was shooting at me. I ran behind the truck. Something about a 6.2 liter V8 Hemi that was real comforting for a moment. He hit the truck in front of me, shattered the windshield of the car behind me, hit the house behind me. He had on class 3 body armor and a ballistic bulletproof helmet. I hit him in the left chest, I hit him in the abdomen, and he kept running. He ran for his car. When he turned to his side to get into his car was sitting in the middle of the street, driver's side door open, engine running. When he turned to his side to get into his car, I put one high in between the plates and I put one in his legs. He got in the vehicle, put 2 more rounds through the side window. Joe Biden wants to say, I want to teach police officers how to shoot them in the legs. Joe, it doesn't work. I tried. He got in the vehicle, slammed the door, put another shot through the side window. I couldn't see his head from the reflection, but I knew where his head was, and I popped one and it went right across his forehead, right underneath the brim of the helmet. He accelerated, turned the corner, he wanted out. Now he wanted out. As he ran down the street, I ran out into the middle of the street. The last shot I took, I was 150 yards away from him, and he was fleeing. I put it through the back windshield and went through the driver's side seat, hit him right on the left shoulder blade. He topped the hill and out of sight. And I'm standing in the middle of the street saying, it can't end this way. And I looked off to my left. Another Dodge pickup parked at the stop sign. Didn't even know the man. Ran over and tapped on the window. That guy just shot up the Baptist church and we got to stop him. Any sane person in this world would have jammed on the gas and left me sit at the stop sign. But this is Texas we're talking about. When I know the sanity
Next thing that happened is I heard the locks pop. I climbed up in the cab of a truck with a long, tall Texan with a white Western hat. Big feathers sticking out. It's probably a buzzard feather. And a tattoo of a longhorn skull in the middle of his neck and the horns running up underneath his ears. Cartoon in Texas. Johnny Langendorf. He turned the corner and we chased the shooter 11.6 miles, and in the end, the shooter chose to take his own life. We don't stop what's going on. They're fighting to take away your rights to own an AR-15. Why? Because it looks evil. There's no evil in a gun. It's just a tool. What he meant for evil, my AR-15 stopped him. It actually wasn't my AR-15, it was me. It matters the heart behind the tool. Now I work for Gun Owners of America. Please go, shameless plug, go to gunowners.org and sign up, get in the fight. And we just overturned the pistol brace ban. We just overturned Prop 14 in Oregon. We're fighting in Illinois. We're fighting here. Here in Texas, our lawyers wrote the constitutional carry bill and 14 other bills we helped pass.
Yes, thank you. I think he's talking about the church shooting, Sutherland Springs, in 2017.
Bills that were happening, and we get this done. But I'm going to tell you, every sheepdog out there, all the law enforcement officers out there that are listening, sheepdog without a shepherd is just an untrained wolf. A shepherd is Jesus Christ. Get to know him. And you can live more boldly in life. Thank you very much for listening to the old crazy ball-headed Texan. God bless Texas. Continue to stand for the right fight.
Yes.
Thank you. It's an honor having you here, baby. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay. A couple more, and we're going to hear from Doc Pete. This man I'm about to bring up here. Another Marine. Got a lot of Marines. Like, again, they can't stop. They can't stop fighting. Another retired Marine, Jeff Swenson, 20-year-old military. 20 years in the military combined, 4 years United States Marine Corps, 16 years Minnesota National Guard. This man has purchased and distributed 5,500 pocket constitutions. Yeah, we got a yeah back there. Who was that? That's right. She understands how important it is that we know what our Constitution says. This man does too. That's why he's dedicated so much of his time and treasure making sure that happened. Married 33 years, 2 grown boys, 6 grandchildren. His National Guard activated for the George Floyd riots. Well, that was a mess. Day 6 attendee, what's up? Try it. Try it real quick. Just try it. Let's try it. Oh, you might be getting kicked off of here. Oh, look at there's 2 of me. Still daylight there? Oh yeah. No, it shouldn't be daylight. Trying to work out some audio.
Okay, let's pull out of that for a minute. Hang on a second.
Hard to step back and say, but I love my country and I'm proud of that flag. I am too. I am too. But when the country was burning in 2020, our vice president lives just outside of Chicago. And after they got done, those snot-nosed kids from the suburbs got done going in and burning down the minority. And then they went back home. They decided they were going to start coming to the suburbs. They were putting it out all over the Twitter feeds. We're going to go out to the suburbs. And the people were asking, well, how do we know which houses to target?
This is Arizona. This is Arizona. This is Arizona. This is Arizona. This is Arizona.
Whoa.
Okay.
There's that.
Okay, well, that's enough of that for the moment. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We're going to get into some of the other news of the day. Then we're going to go back to some coverage of the Take Our Border Back rally, demonstration, whatever you want to call it. And we're also going to get you Ted Nugent. So stick around. More to come.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
The New World Order. Government overreach. The Great Reset. Mainstream media lies. Now more than ever, independent voices are needed. Donate now at freedomreporters.com. That's freedomreporters.com. Maverick News. The antivirus program for your mind.
Okay. Let's head on over to Canada for a moment. This is a political story. It reminds me kind of like a Donald Trump moment when he kind of puts his foot in it. And what I mean by that is when he puts his foot right in his mouth sometimes. So this minister out in British Columbia, she's the post-secondary school education minister, Selena Robinson. And she's under a lot of fire tonight because of a Zoom meeting she was on where she refers to the land that Israel was established as a crappy piece of land. And that has upset some pro-Palestinian groups who are calling for her resignation now. The premier of British Columbia says that the comments were totally unacceptable, in his words, and increased division in the province at a time when people of Palestinian descent are feeling alienated. So she's on this meeting. We've got the clip. We'll share it with you. It has set off a firestorm, and here she is calling the land that Israel sits on a crappy piece of land.
We have a whole generation, and we know from the data that it's 18 to 34-year-olds that have no idea about the Holocaust. They don't even think it happened. They don't even understand that Israel was offered to the Jews who were displaced. So they have no connection to how it started. They don't understand that it was a crappy piece of land with nothing on it. There were, several 100,000 people, but other than that, it didn't produce an economy. It couldn't grow things. It didn't have anything on it. And that it was the folks who were displaced that came, and the people who had been living there for generations, and together they worked hard. And They had their own battles, right? We know the history.
Oops. Yeah. Tough gig being a politician these days is when you have to open your mouth. One wrong word, one wrong phrase, and you are in deep doo-doo. And she is tonight. Because that is politically incorrect, I guess. You see what I mean by a Donald Trump moment? Remember his comment, where was it? Was he referring to Haiti as an asshole country? I'm just going to check that. Donald Trump. Yeah, I was referred to Haiti and African nations as asshole countries. And the media lost its collective mind, as they are tonight in Canada, over that provincial minister's comment. What else is going on? Well, we know that the United States tonight has launched additional attacks, this time in Yemen, in response to the attack that led to the deaths of 3 American soldiers in Jordan. And I believe they have now, struck 30 Houthi targets in Yemen. So these latest strikes against the Houthis were launched by ships and fighter jets. They follow an air assault in Iraq and Syria yesterday that targeted other Iranian, the U.S. says they're Iranian-backed militias, and the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. The Houthi targets were in 10 different locations and were struck by U.S. F-18 fighter jets from the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower aircraft carrier and by American warships firing Tomahawk missiles from the Red Sea. Some details not yet being released on this. Some information still being withheld. But as we told you yesterday, the initial attacks against 85 different targets, we told you that would just be the beginning, because there was every indication that this is going to be a campaign, not just a single one-day response. So more to come on this front for sure. What other stories do we have lined up for you tonight? A lot of stuff coming out of, well, and the other thing I should mention too is that that Take Our Border Back demonstration is really just one of 3. There's another demonstration apparently going on in Arizona and another one in California. But it's more difficult to get information and video out of those locations. All the attention really is focused on Eagle Pass and that children's camp where the convoyers are staying tonight. Now, more than 100 days since the Hamas attack on Israel, October 7th, the Israeli military is still continuing its operations in the Gaza Strip. This conflict now is the deadliest between the warring sides since Israel was established back in 1948, and it shows no signs of ending in any way in the near future. No end in sight at this point. But we are seeing that Hamas has received a proposed hostage deal. This coming from officials in Qatar. So in the Gaza Strip, at least 27,000 people have been killed, according to information released by Hamas, and 66,400 others have been wounded by Israeli forces. Again, that coming from the Hamas-controlled Ministry of Health in Gaza. So I take those numbers with a grain of salt, as I've said from the beginning, although when I look at mainstream media, frankly, it seems like they don't even question those figures. They should. In Israel, at least 1,200 people were killed on that October 7th attack by Hamas. And of course, we've seen a surge of violence in Gaza and in the Israeli-occupied West Bank as well since October 7th. So this is just going to continue on for the time being. Now, as an extension of that, the United States has announced terrorism and sanctions evasion charges and seizures linked to a $1 billion oil trafficking network that it says finances Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and other militant groups. So it has announced terrorism charges and seizures linked to this, what they're saying is an Iranian oil network. So these cases are a response to a series of aggressive actions taken by Iran over several years, according to the Department of Justice. And of course, now with further justification, or at least what they're pointing to is further justification, the United States is taking these actions because of the attack on October 7th. So the DOJ seized more than $108 million that it said China Oil and Petroleum Company Limited attempted to launder through accounts at U.S. financial institutions. The Department of Justice and China Oil and Petroleum is an IRGC front company, according to U.S. officials. The DOJ is also saying that it seized more than 520,000 barrels of Iran's oil aboard the crude tanker Abyss that were covered by U.S. sanctions. That, of course, all of these actions highly controversial because when it comes to a war, a conflict, in either times of war or peace, who has authority on the open seas is largely a question that is answered by who has the biggest and the most guns, the most power. That is kind of the way the world works out there, even though some would like to see an international rules-based order. The truth of the matter is when you have nation states against other nation states, it is always a struggle for positioning and power. And the United States, Russia, China, these are superpowers. So they kind of dictate how the world works. And with the United States having the world reserve currency and the military to back that up and positioning in the Middle East, they have the power, they have the position. It's just being challenged right now, which is why we are seeing such escalation in the Middle East. All right, let's just check back in here with this live feed from the camp just outside Eagle Pass, Texas. And we'll dip back in here for a moment and see what these speakers are saying, see if there's anything interesting going on. This feed from Soup Mama.
They don't teach us government. They don't teach us the Constitution. They don't teach law enforcement the Constitution. In fact, they're not even law enforcement. In order to be law enforcement, you must enforce the Constitution. They have statutes and codes which are not law. But In New Mexico, Texas is our neighbor. And because I'm Texan, I will always come and help this state. But in New Mexico, we are the training ground for the rest of the country. So everything they do in New Mexico, you better believe if they're still there, you're going to see what we are seeing. So right now, over the last couple of years, they've been passing some extreme statutes. And I go to legislature, city council meetings, county commission meetings all over the state. I get thrown out by the sheriffs. They give us our 60 seconds to talk in legislature, where I explain to them that statutes are supposed to be parallel to the Constitution, not way over here. Right? 9th Amendment says you do not get to interpret the Constitution as you please. The 10th Amendment says you're only granted the powers that the Constitution affords you. We don't serve our servants, they serve us. So some of the things that they are doing right now in legislature in New Mexico, private property, you own your home, let's say you own a one-story home, they can come in, put a second story on it, and house illegal immigrants in your house. If you have an acre of land, they can come and build a tiny home, and you have no say. This is going on right now. They brought the Church of Satan in, and they're going to put them in every single school, and they're going to have the ability to do the sex changes, the abortions, right there, and never tell you. Just remember, anytime you register for anything, you give up your power of attorney. So when you register your children for school, you're no longer the parent. When you register your car to the state, you don't own it. When you register to vote, obviously.
Okay, so we'll come back to that in a few moments. That guy's giving people some sort of a lecture on common law. And Elon Musk weighing in on everything going on down there at the border. And he has set off a firestorm chain reaction on X, formerly known as Twitter, with this post about immigration. He says, here, there it is. Now it's on screen. He says, in the bet you didn't know category, Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas issued written guidance making it clear that 1, illegal presence alone is not grounds for deportation. 2, criminal charges, convictions, or gang membership alone are not enough for deportation. He goes on and says, you basically have to be a convicted axe murderer to be deported. That's because every deportation is a lost vote. 5.4 million views is what that has generated for Elon Musk. And we're getting comments on both sides of that issue. Comments on both sides of that comment. He doesn't seem to be afraid to speak his mind, except sometimes he's afraid to speak his mind. It's hard to pin him down because he opens his mouth, he tweets and posts quite a bit, seems to take a side on an issue, then flips, flops, backtracks, makes a trip to Auschwitz after posting things that generate accusations of anti-Semitism. Now he's over here talking about the border situation and immigration. For a guy with that kind of money and that kind of responsibility, he's pretty ballsy. You know, most CEOs of companies would refrain, I think, from posting controversial things like that. And I would say even most billionaires would sort of refrain from engaging in that kind of very visible, high profile online social media activity because it can damage your company. And I think it has in some ways, but in other ways, I guess it has maybe given him and his companies a bit of a boost at times too. Two ways to kind of look at it. I mean, look at what Mike Lindell does with My Pillow. He really utilizes media in a unique and creative way. He's latched on to a side of the political spectrum. He owns now some social media platforms or has an interest in some of them. And then through those social media platforms, he advertises his own products, which is a pretty interesting and I would say an effective way to promote and run your business. My Pillow. I don't own a My Pillow, but an interesting business guy and an interesting business model, to be sure. And that speaker's still going on there. And it is getting close now to 7:39. Let me just see what else we have here before we take our next step. I think that kind of gets us where we want to be. We're going to go to the phones here in just a moment. But I did want to show you this in case you missed it. This was a clip, I believe this was from Massachusetts, where a man was visibly upset, verbally challenging police regarding the Roxbury Recreation Center after the governor there shut it down to house illegal aliens this week. And I think this guy pretty much captured the feeling or the feelings of a lot of people from his community and certainly reflects, I think, the overall feeling that people share at that children's camp just outside Eagle Pass, Texas tonight. Basically, they brought in these immigrants. They're putting them up in this community center, and people from the local community who pay taxes and make use of it for a variety of community activities, they don't have access now. And that has them pretty upset. Maybe you've seen this, maybe you haven't. Either way, worth showing to you tonight. This just shows one of the consequences of this high level, this unprecedented level of immigration.
Live fucking here. And I've been here my whole fucking because I can yell. Because I can yell. Because I can yell. And I'm fucking angry. That's why. I hear you. I still hear you. So why can't I get in the fucking building? You can't get in right now. No one can. Why? Where's the mayor at? Y'all, this fucking town's a fucking sham, yo. It's all about fucking money. It's a fucking money grab. Y'all give a fuck about the motherfuckers that was born and fucking raised here. Y'all raised the fucking rent so fucking high. Can't afford to live here, but y'all gonna bring some other motherfuckers here? That doesn't fucking add up. It doesn't make no fucking sense. None. None. I'm fucking homeless. I work a full-time job, 40 hours, and can't pay to live here. How the fuck are y'all gonna bring somebody else here? Don't make no fucking sense. None.
So there's a guy who works 40 hours a week. He's homeless, working 40 hours a week to survive on the street. and they bring in more people and at least put a roof over their heads, and he can't get the same service. That doesn't make sense. Everybody deserves to be treated with dignity. The government is really failing people. But I think maybe the problem, my opinion, is that too many people are looking to the government for the solution when the government is the damn problem. What we need is for the government to get the hell out of the way and let the community, let people deal with these problems, because people will survive. They'll find a way if they're allowed to.
Feel the vibrations. Our quest continues. The truth is out there. We are Mavericks.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, Maverick News. Defending free speech, free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, and the phone lines are open. The clock is ticking. Here's the number to call.
Join the conversation. Call 1-833-975-3733. That's 1-833-975. Free. Speak up. Speak out. Make your voice heard. Maverick News. Fighting for freedom by defending your right to free speech. Be a Maverick. Join us.
So you can call in, and I would really like to get some new callers. So if you've been thinking of calling in but haven't, now would be a good time. I will put you right to the top. Not to say other people can't call in, but I would really like to see some new callers in the queue at 1-833-975-3733, 1-833-975-3733, 1-833-975-FREE to join the conversation tonight. And I have to say, too, I just wanted to, while we wait for the phone lines to heat up here, just a couple things. Last night we had a guest on, Danny, who, I appreciated him coming on. He had a lot to say about a lot of the, I guess, the work that he does, kind of looking into the backgrounds of people and so on, especially as it relates to donations and funds and, yeah, I would say even some grifting that takes place online. But the views of the people who appear on the program do not always reflect my personal views or the views of, or the policies of my company, Maverick Multimedia Incorporated. People are free to express their opinions on here, but in particular, when it comes to talking about other people and their activities or what they might be involved with or what their practices are, how they might handle money. And there were no accusations that went over the line last night at all. But I just want to make it very clear that, someone like Tamara Litch, I've got no issues with Tamara. I've never had a problem with her, nor have I ever seen any indication myself of her doing anything wrong. So I'm just saying that while names were kind of coming out a little bit last night, I don't want to leave anybody with the impression that I'm pointing the finger at anybody in particular, because I'm not. The intent last night was simply to bring Danny on to just make people aware that, yeah, some people say they're going to do something, or they make promises to people, and they ask for donations, where they, and it's up to you to do your due diligence to determine if you're donating to a good cause, as Soup Mama told you tonight and has told you every night she's been on as well. So make sure you research these organizations or people that you're sending your money to. Even that children's ranch. I know nothing about it. I don't know if it's a nonprofit. I don't know if it's a for-profit thing. I don't know anything about that ranch. So if you're thinking of donating to that ranch down in Texas, I would encourage you to check it out more thoroughly. Find out what it's really all about. And the same thing with anybody else you're sending money to. It's just that simple. Be careful. And think about whether what somebody is doing is providing you with a service, if they're actually producing results or not. I'm seeing, some people, frankly, that encourage people to get involved or to support something and say that they're going to achieve some sort of a result. And over again, they get you nothing. I've been seeing a lot of that over the last few years. So people will make their own decisions. You're all adults. It's your money. You speak with your money the same way you speak with your voice. So be careful how you exercise it, because it's important. Again, you can call in at 1-833-975-3733, and let's go to our first caller of the night. Who do we have on the line? Hello.
Hello.
Go ahead. You're on the.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Okay. Hold on. I'm not sure if I'm online.
You are?
Oh, okay. All right, Rick. Okay. So sorry about that. You know why? Because I'm watching you on my iPad and I'm listening to you on my iPhone with headset. So
yeah.
You know what, Rick? I just wanted to say, we spoke, I think maybe it was a year ago or so. You were doing a live stream about, Donald Trump. And we had talked about whether it would be Donald Trump or DeSantis anyway. And I had said, I think it's going to be Donald Trump. So it looks like it is going to be Donald Trump. And also, aside from that, the main reason I wanted to talk tonight was, Rick, I really appreciate what you do. You know, you give people a voice. And, you know, I follow your YouTube channel. I follow some other YouTube channels, which I'm not going to mention, right? Because, you know, we're talking about your YouTube channel right now. But without channels like yours, we would not see or hear about certain things that are going on, right? You know, obviously, you know, the mainstream media doesn't really, I don't know, tell you what's going on out there. And I just wanted to tell you that I appreciate what you do. And basically that's it.
I appreciate it. It's it means more than you know. It's yeah. It's in this business these days, in particular, you know, you get compliments and you also get a lot of criticism, but that comes with the territory. So I do appreciate the positive feedback.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
And you know what? That's all I have to say tonight. And, you know, I guess you can move on to the next caller, right? But thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You have a great night.
All right, Rick. You have a good night.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
All right. And yeah, I just wanted to elaborate too on what I was saying there. Also, just to clarify too, you know, Leo went to Brian Massey's office yesterday. We ran the video. And he talked about having protests and so on. I got to tell you, like, Leo does what Leo does. He's his own guy. He makes his own decisions. I don't have a leash on Leo. Lori does her own thing. You guys do your own thing. I don't organize protests. My company does not organize protests. I'm a journalist. I'm not a cheerleader. I do inject my opinion. I do call balls and strikes. I call it like I see it. And I try to make it clear when I'm editorializing. In the course of doing these broadcasts. But I also try to provide balance, a variety of perspectives, give all kinds of people a voice on the platform so that we can explore these issues in the broadest possible way and allow people to then draw their own conclusions based on the information that we are able to share and the opinions and views. So we can have discussions about these things. But I don't want to become, and I don't want this platform to become, an activist platform. I don't want to be so much of an activist. I do have my bias. I'm making that very clear, but I always make room for dissenting perspectives here. You don't always get that these days. In fact, it's becoming very rare through either mainstream media or independent media. And as much as people sit there and think that the mainstream media is the only one lying to you and or giving you slanted perspectives, I will tell you that in the independent media world, the polarization is, I think, more extreme. I have to be quite honest. You're getting a perspective from most platforms, and that's why people gravitate to them. Honestly, that's why people donate to those platforms, generally speaking, because those platforms reflect their personal views. Now, I'm very conservative in my views, and so we tend to attract an audience here that is reflective, I think, of me and my personal views. Although we have a lot of people in here who don't even like me. I think that much is pretty clear from the chat tonight, and that's okay. But I'm trying to navigate through this new form journalism, this new age journalism that we're dealing with here through social media. The medium is the message. It has changed the way journalism is practiced, this internet, these live streams. And I just want to make it clear that I don't endorse any candidates here. I'm not endorsing any candidates. I do tell you who I like, but officially, this channel does not endorse any candidate. Not Donald Trump, not RFK Jr., not Biden, not Poilievre, not Maxime Bernier. No candidates, none. Not Jagmeet Singh, not Trudeau, although I've come out and worst prime minister in Canadian history. It's what I say. But we run a lot of Justin Trudeau clips here, don't we? Yes, we do. So I just try to be balanced and fair, and again, call it like I see it. And some people get a lot more airtime than others because they call in. And I think our next caller here is close to reaching 200 calls on this program.
That's it? I think you're wrong.
No,
I'm over 380.
I don't know. It actually has a tally there. You're at 199, Leo. 199 calls on this system.
Well, I'll give everybody food for thought. If you don't donate to the Rick Walker Show, I'm not going to make 200 calls. How's that sound? I'm not going to get that extra one.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, you know what? Even protesting in front of an NDP office or a Liberal office, I'd be like, to me, it really feels like kicking a dead horse in the mouth.
Yeah.
Are we going to get anywhere with it? Really?
I don't know. I mean, for me, it's just as a journalist, right? Like I was taught, trained to cover the news, not be part of the news. This is a different medium that I'm in now than it was when I worked in television. I struggle to get out of that old school journalism mindset where I'm trying to be unbiased and provide balance and not inject my opinion. But this is new. This is kind of like a hybrid Rush Limbaugh talk radio news program with balance and opinion.
Well, I thought you were going to vote for me in the Windsor, the People's Republic of Windsor, and splitting up Windsor to Detroit. So the west side of Windsor will be Detroit, the east side will be Canada. But I guess you're not voting for me.
Oh, I don't know about that, Leo. Why don't you run for office and then maybe we can look at that.
You know what? I could run for office. I could do a lot of things, but I'm too honest. Okay, when it comes down to it, I'm just the average type of guy. Okay, and I would probably get shot because I'm too honest. Something would happen. Look at Texas right now. All the hype for the last week and a half of Texas. Oh, the uprising, this and that. It was a total flop.
It's just, yeah, it has not turned out to be anything like what anybody was telling us it was going to be in the beginning, has it? It's totally different.
No, there was more porta potties than there were people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good if you got to take a dump. You want a clean porta potty, go take it, right? We're very well organized on that manner. But for them to sit there and say, well, we have a special guest speaker possibly coming at 7 p.m. like Donald Trump's going to come and waste his time.
Yeah.
Okay. He ain't going down there. That would hurt his campaign tenfold. Okay. To me, it was a Bible study. That's what was going on there.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me too. Sort of a mix of common law school with some hymn singing and little concert here and a little Dr. Phil over there.
Yeah, well,
Dr.
it
Phil.
kind of reminds me of Ottawa 2.0.
Yeah.
Okay, where they were going to get 1 million people there, and only 70 people showed up.
Yeah.
Okay, the same thing in Texas, right? So it's sad. I get what's going on. They would have probably had better luck in New York City.
Yeah, because there are a lot more people there to begin with. But
well, that and there's a lot of people that are disgruntled right now about what's going on in New York City with the immigration, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're crossing that in Texas, but they're not staying in Texas.
Yes.
They're going to New York City.
That's
Chicago.
Right.
Sanctuary cities, right, where they won't be touched.
Yeah.
And when you have a group beating up on a New York City police officer, and you got the who are those guys in New York City with the red berets?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Silva's the guy, the leader, saying that they have to protect the police now.
Yeah.
The guardian angels.
Right. Yeah.
Those guys, right?
Yeah. You guys out on the streets,
so
doing their thing. Yeah. Yeah.
All I know is this has been a very great start to 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what the rest of the year has planned, but sit back, grab your popcorn, and enjoy the show. Don't get too involved. It's all a big show.
Yeah, we have 14 governors tomorrow coming to Eagle Pass to meet with Governor Greg Abbott of Texas. And that to me is really the more significant event, even more than this convoy, because that's the politics.
Yeah. If they're coming there to support them, right? They might get a handful. Maybe Donald Trump will show up there. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Dr. Phil flying in, drop rolling and jumping back on the. What a joke! What a joke! Really, it was an embarrassment to the they pumped it up 700,000 trucks. It was a convoy in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, our plans were never to go to Eagle Pass.
Yeah,
bullshit. That's all I've been hearing for a week and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So yeah.
They were
smoke and mirrors. I'll let you get on to your next caller.
They were shifting gears just because they were trying to find a way to make everything work, right? In the end. So I have to say, I think in the end, what they've done is they've salvaged this thing. They've put together something that looks respectable. They've got a nice little camp out going there. It's family oriented. It's entirely peaceful. I don't have an issue with any of that. And if they want to sit around and sing some songs, listen to some guys play the guitars, have some speakers, and do their thing for the weekend and hang out, it's cool with me. I don't think they're hurting anything out there. So more power to them.
It's very cool with me. It's peaceful. Okay. And that's a good thing. It's peaceful.
Yep.
It sounds great to me, but all the grifters out there, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. All the grifters out there pumped it like it was the next Ottawa convoy or the farmers protests in Europe. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
Right.
So they pumped it up, and I seen there's a lot of people donating money, and we're just sitting back laughing, going, really?
Yep. That's
really.
The grifting. That's the grift. It's like false hope, false promises, fear mongering to get people to donate large sums of money. And then in the end, and telling people things like, this is the last stand. We need you now. It's like, really? Like, and then
sell your house and all your worthy possessions and join us.
Right.
Sell everything and come and join us. Right. It's the makings. It's a cult, plain and simple. No different from the Branch Davidians down the road in Waco.
Yep.
Okay. No different. Okay, and a lot of people are opening their eyes to it, right? I'd have a lot more respect for a lot of these people that are on YouTube and everything else. Okay, like you do this. This is a business, okay, and you say it's a business, and you're registered as a business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're not, I know you're not making what, not even close to what CTV was paying you at the end. Okay. But you're on. Okay. You provide something to us. Like the last caller said, she was great. Okay. You provide something to us day in, day out. You're not waiting for the next, big scare tactic to get out there and start filming. Oh, here's a Rick Walker show. We're here at wherever, right? Palestine, Ohio. Okay. And encrypting and trying to get money that way. I'd have a lot more respect for a lot of these people. And, at work the other night, I was laughing. I not just your show, I was watching after your show because I'm at work till 4 in the morning. I'm watching a show and it's 2.5 hours long and they're doing an interview with a guy. Okay. And it's a live interview. And then it stops and says, well, if you want to watch the rest of the interview, so the guy didn't even get to tell his whole story. You have to go to Patreon.
Oh yeah.
Which is another, okay. Yeah. So it costs whatever $5 to go over and watch the rest. Like, give me a break. You just wasted 2.5 hours and you click unsubscribe that page. I'm not paying it. So it is a business for some people. Okay, and I respect that. Like your business, okay, but there's a big scam going on for a lot of other people. It's a legal scam.
Yeah.
Right. Is what it is. Okay, get to your next caller, Rick. Thanks for letting me the first caller on. Anyways, she was nice.
Yeah, I thought so too. Thank you, Leo. Okay, have a great night, my friend. And you know what we're going to do, folks? We're going to go to Ted Nugent right after this, so that you can hear the Nuge. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay. So let me just do that. Now, coming up, Lori's show, Strange Bedfellows, is on at 9 p.m. What time is it now? It's just a little after 8, I guess. Okay. So, I don't know if you're listening on the replay, it could be any time, day or night, but right now in real time, it is 8:10 p.m. here Eastern time. And at 9 p.m., I will be joining Lori on Strange Bedfellows. And we will be interviewing the gentleman who will be running for U.S. Congress. This person will be making the big announcement on that show. So if you want to find out what that's all about, you'll have to tune into Strange Bedfellows on these Maverick stations at 9 p.m. So there is that. Now, pull this down. And as I say, this whole thing, and in Eagle Pass and just outside of Eagle Pass, it really did turn into something of a circus. And when I say a circus, I don't mean it in an entirely bad way. It's just very entertaining what has been going on out there. And what I'm going to do here is first, we're going to get to Ted Nugent, but let's go back to this live feed, this speaker, and then we'll get to Ted Nugent in just a moment. I did promise you the Nuge, and we'll get you the Nuge. All right. But let's go back to this live stream now from Stoop Mama.
Love you, brother. I touched his face. And I sent him home in a dignified transfer. And I've sent the very first one here. He's on my wrist. Somebody go wake up the troll. I haven't asked his mom today if I can say his name, so I can't. 23 years old. He was right here when he died, right next to me. His leg was against my arm. 12th of May, 2004, Iraq. Grid coordinate Mike Bravo 4560790. And A year later, I went to his ceremony out in Seattle, Washington. I met his mom. And I asked her, I said, ma'am, I was a captain then. I said, you can hate me, but I was his commanding officer. I'm responsible for everything that happens or fails to happen. If you want to hit me or spit on me or call me a name, I'll take it if that makes you feel better. But I didn't know that she was a Christian lady. And she said, Captain, I want you to live your life like his life mattered. How does that happen? Her only child, single mom, how does that happen? Because there's something inside of her that said that we need to live our life. Get ready for this. Like his life matters. That's the important thing here. That's that message that I learned. And it took me a long time to figure it out because it was Jeff Shaver, this other soldier, who taught me this. And he was a young kid. He said, I heard him shoot. We were on top of this building when we pulled into Baghdad, and we were fighting all night trying to occupy this old palace that belonged to Uday and Crusade. Said, what are you saying every time you shoot? Well, sir, I'm saying Philippians 4, 6, and 7, sir. What's that? I said, well, do not be anxious about anything.
A little hard to hear what he's saying.
Christ Jesus. I said, well, I don't know that one yet. I said, well, you do now. He taught me. But
so I think what we'll do is
and that's how you don't live in a spirit of fear, because you know that the word is the sword, and the sword is the piercing thing that gets through us. So when I say this stuff, I'm telling you from reality, that's how it started.
So that's what's going on live just outside of Eagle Pass, Texas. The Nuge. All right. Here he is playing the national anthem on his Gitbox. Hendrix style. Except it ain't really Hendrix style. It's Ted Nugent style. All right, let's share that with you now. Ted Nugent, Motor City Madman in Texas. I'm going to sign off, folks. I'll be back at 9 p.m. on Strange Bedfellows with Lori and our special guest. And I will be back tomorrow night as well, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same Maverick time, same Maverick station on the flip side.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.